Hey everyone, so I'm going through my prepper pantry today, trying to get a little bit organized. We did have to break down and order a couple of new shelves because the refurbished ones that I was trying to use just it's becoming a safety hazard and they're just not functioning. Like they're kind of shorter, wider shelves, and I want some narrower, taller shelves so I can utilize the space, towards the ceiling. So I will be showing you a prepper pantry tour here in the weeks ahead. But as I was going through, I was thinking I want to do a video talking to you about my 20 favorite preps. And I've done a video in the past about my favorite unique food preps, but this is just my covers all categories favorite preps where I would be bummed if they didn't carry them anymore, if they ran out. I mean, I'd obviously make do, but I'm just saying I really love these. And what I base my decision on why these are my favorite. Number one, taste, obviously. Number two, affordability. Number three, accessibility. I don't want to be telling y'all about something that's just exclusive to my area, but something that y'all should be able to access if you wanted to get it too. And functionality, like, can I use these in more than one way? Okay, so let's just start here with the Keystone beef. This is so good, you really don't even need to season it. I've used it a couple times, just one can. I was able to make 3 meals out of it. So I guess I did a pot roast, and then we made like a beef spread, what do you call it, double ham salad, but with beef. And I forgot the other recipe we used, but this is so good. Keystone is a great product, and I know that not all stores, I guess, carry it anymore because it is so popular. I think I did order mine online, to be honest with you. So, but this is good. Love it. Number two is this Duke's mayonnaise that is the bacon and tomato. Can you see that? They've got different flavors. I think they've got a habanero and let's see here, maybe a garlic and I think a dill. Might be a couple of other ones. I get these at Kroger. I don't know where they might sell them in your area, but these are really, really good. You know, one of the things that's really important to prep are spices and marinades and gravy mixes and things like that, because you want to avoid food fatigue. If you do end up living off your preps, you want it to taste good. So to me, this mayonnaise, it's just not like regular mayonnaise. It's seasoned really well. It's real smoky tasting. So we use this when we make spreads or salads. It's just absolutely delicious. Number 3 here is this brown gravy with onions, and it is the Walmart brand. This is so good. We use this when we make Salisbury steak. You can just fry up some meat patties and then open up a can of this and pour it over the top. It's already got its onions in it. We use it as an au jus sauce for dipping and things like that when we make sandwiches. This is just really good, and the last time I bought this, it's been months, but it was right at $1 a can, so I highly recommend it. It's the Great Value brown gravy with onions. Next is the Glory seasoned butter beans. I love this brand. I love their spinach. I love their lima beans. These are so delicious on their own. I don't know what they use in their seasoning, but if you were to have an SHTF situation and you had to live off your preps, this would be something that I'd be okay with just opening and eating right out of the can. And if I had to eat it multiple times, I'd be okay with that. It's really that good. So if you've never tried Glory brand, you should give them a try. Now, this one here, this is the Pace Taco Complete. Wait a minute. There we go. And I know I can find them at HEB and only certain ones, so I know that HEB is exclusive to Texas, but one of my subscribers said they see these at either Walgreens or CVS too. But it's basically, you can just open it and make tacos or whatever, whatever you want to make. If you want to make a casserole, or even put it in a soup, like if you're making taco soup or quesadillas. So it's got the meat, it's got beans, I think it's got corn, tomatoes, it's got everything in it. It's really, really good. So that is one of my faves. And then the Hormel Completes, I just picked this one, the Stroganoff, because I'm on a Stroganoff kick lately. I really like the Knorrs Pasta Side Stroganoff. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't bring that over here. But anyway, so I picked this one, but they're all good. And if you had to just open it and eat it as is, they taste real good. All the different types they have, and they're sealed real nicely and everything. So that is the Hormel Completes. I just had this for the first time the other day. Can you believe that? Have y'all tried the Campbell's bean with bacon? So my husband opened a can that I had in the pantry the other day. He was like, oh, I used to eat this when I was a kid. And all he did, he added a little bit of cumin and a little bit of smoked salt. And this was the best soup I've ever had. It is so good. So this is my new favorite prep. Charro beans. I don't know. This may be exclusive to HEB. It's the HEB brand, but perhaps other brands make something similar. But you know, when you go to a Mexican restaurant and sometimes they'll give you like charro beans or a little charro bean soup or something. So it's got all the little tomatoes and onions and spices in it. Really good to just open and eat out of a can if you had to. Now, I'm going to put these both in the same category. This counts as one item. My favorite flavors of these Premier protein drinks, they're 30 grams of protein. And I've tried different protein drinks before, and they're all chalky tasting. They're not really good. That's just my opinion. But these taste really, really good, especially if you put them in the freezer and get them kind of slushy tasting. So the cafe latte, this one is really good if you mix it with, if you've got some iced coffee or something, and you mix this instead of creamer, so you're going to get a little bit of protein. It'll fill you up. So these are good, and they're shelf stable. So if storage is an issue, you can't put them in the fridge. You can put them in your pantry. So I think that this one is really good. And then the chocolate peanut butter one is absolutely delicious. I love that. So the next thing is the Bear Creek chili. This is so good, and it doesn't really require a lot of seasoning. And you can make this vegetarian if you want. I've got a couple of vegetarian kids, so we make the soup, and it's really good. And then if we want to add some ground beef to our portion, we can. But it makes 8 servings. I've tried all the Bear Creeks. I've liked them all, with the exception of the minestrone soup. And I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. I love the chicken noodle. That's my next favorite. The split pea. What else? The potato is good. But yeah, definitely this chili is really, really good. I think all you have to do is add a little can of tomato paste. So that's good, affordable. Aldi sells their brand. It's a little bit cheaper and it tastes really good too. So give that a try if you haven't already. Now this is Spanish rice, saffron yellow rice. And this too is already seasoned with really good spices, I might add. So we make this sometimes, and we'll throw some olives, and what else do we put in it? Just make a Spanish rice, maybe throw some tomatoes in. And you really don't need to season it. The seasoning is already in the package. So that's good. Beef jerky. Now, I'm not partial necessarily to this brand. I don't even really know where I got it, but jerky is a great prep to have because it's dehydrated steak. I did a video, one of my first videos that I put out there about a month or so ago. And did you know that if you put steak in boiling water, if you put jerky in boiling water, you have steak, little steak strips. So I made, I want to say that was a beef stroganoff too. I guess I've been on a kick for a while with beef stroganoff. But so I took one of those Knorrs Pasta Sides, and then I think I opened a can of mushrooms and put it in. But while it was boiling, I took a couple of strips of jerky and cut it into bite-sized pieces, put it in the water while it was boiling, and then they came out all soft and tender. So just think about having some beef jerky in your preps. And this right here, these beans, again, doesn't have to be this brand. I like these beans because, again, I have children who are vegetarians. They eat a lot of beans. But you can just open this package, just cut a little hole in the corner, and just get out the amount you need. So if my girls want burritos one day, or they want me to make them some nachos, you can just kind of control how much you squeeze out of here. And it makes quite a bit. It lasts a few days. They get quite a few servings out of this. So maybe consider having these bags of beans. Next one, this is kind of a quirky, off-the-wall one, but Goya guava paste. I don't know if anybody else has a Pollo Tropical in their area. We had one, and sadly they closed. So anytime we go to Florida, we definitely make a pit stop by Pollo Tropical. They have these awesome guava bars. And I've made a pretty decent duplicate copycat recipe, and I'll share that video one day. But the guava paste is good for a couple different reasons. If you want to make guava bars, and it almost has like a cranberry sauce vibe. So let's say you needed cranberry sauce but didn't have any, you could use this. Or, if you're making like a sweet and savory barbecue meatballs or something, and maybe you're out of jelly, but you have a can of this, you can put your barbecue sauce and just cut up some pieces of this and use that in place of jelly. So this is really good. Guava paste by Goya. And I know everybody's heard of Spam, and I'm sure maybe not all stores carry the Spam singles, but I like these because we go camping, we go hiking. I don't like opening a can of Spam and then we only eat like a half of it, and then we put the rest in a Ziploc bag in the fridge, and then we forget about it and it never gets eaten and we end up throwing it out. So it's a little more pricey to buy it individually unless you buy it on sale, but it's just easier to control your portions because obviously this is high in sodium. We don't eat a lot of it, but it is nice to just have some individual packs of Spam. And I know as a prepper, everybody's heard of the tuna packets. So I've tasted a lot of them. My all-time favorite is the hickory smoked. I just really love smoked everything. I've even got smoked sugar that I use in certain recipes. I've got smoked maple syrup. I am just a big fan of smoked. So these are delicious as is. You don't need to season them. Next one on my top 20 is it's called Urban Accents, and it's plant-based street taco. Well, the flavoring is street taco. They make other flavors, but Urban Accents puts out these soy crumbles, so they're like dehydrated soy crumbles that you can use in place of ground beef. So even if you eat meat, but let's say you want to stretch you want to bulk up a meal, and beef is expensive, so throw one of these packets in there. It tastes pretty similar, to be honest with you, but for my vegetarian children, I use this when we make tacos or some kind of taco soup or whatever, and they love it. It's got a real good smoky taste to it as well. These cup of noodles by Lipton, they make the well, I'm sorry, it's called cup of soup, but they do have a noodle packet, and then these are the creamy chicken packet, and they're just little envelopes. I think there's four to a box. And if you're ever just on the go and you have access to some hot water or whatever, you just open it up, pour the hot water on. Very flavorful. I love these when I'm not feeling good. And they're very nostalgic for me because I used to keep these by my desk when I was working in the corporate world a long time ago. And I would just go into the break room, get some hot water, and make some of these for a little light snack. So these are good to have on hand. Dehydrated soup. Lastly, okay, we've got two more. The Dinty Moore beef stew. This is really good as is, just opening it up and eating it right out of the can. So, and I think it's Dinty Moore might also make chicken and dumplings that are pretty decent. I do need to flavor those with some seasoning a little bit, but this would be something I'd be okay eating out of a can. And it makes several servings. It's a big can, so I recommend that. Lastly, this is Julio's all-purpose seasoning. And the way that we stumbled upon this was, I don't know if y'all have ever had the Julio's chips. They're like corn chips, and they're seasoned with this stuff, and it's delicious. So we were hooked on those chips for a while. And then I came across the seasoning, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this the seasoning they use on those chips? And sure enough, we used it, and it's delicious. We put this in everything. It just completely enhances the flavor of every dish that we make. We put them on potatoes and in our soups and everything. So obviously seasonings, like I said, are a good prep to have, especially an all-purpose one that you can season multiple things with. So that about concludes. Obviously I have a lot more things in my preps that I love too, but if I was to pick my top 20 that I would be bummed if I couldn't get again, this would be them right here. So I would be curious to hear in the comment section what your top 20 favorite preps are that you keep. Maybe you know of something I've never heard of, but I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all have a blessed day. Take care.